respects. I can't talk today, and I apologize for it. But when they returned to pay their respects, the door to the mausoleum was open. Now, they thought maybe they hadn't securely closed the door. Closed the door the day that they had buried her. So they closed it again. A few weeks after that, a clergyman saw that the door was open once again and ordered it to be shut. Throughout the decades, though, the door has been found opened over and over, even after using big heavy chains and an unbreakable lock. The door just was continuously being found open. Well, about 50 years ago, a door was installed on the mausoleum that could only be opened by industrial heavy machinery. But guess what, Alex?
What?
It was open again. Well, yeah, I know. So since then, they've just kind of given up on keeping the door closed. So why does the door keep opening? Maybe Julia is just determined to not be locked in that mausoleum again. Many visitors to that cemetery have reported seeing a slow-moving shadow in the area that the mausoleum is located. A few brave folks have even walked inside of the mausoleum. Some of them have reported feeling a strange energy around them, and others have taken photos that contain images that they just can't explain. Now, I haven't visited here yet, but I do want us to take a family road trip. And we're, just to see it. And I'm not so sure about walking into the mausoleum, though. But would you walk into the mausoleum, Alex?
I'll be honest with you, I would walk in there. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to see my mom just close the door and it's going to stay shut. I'm going to get scared right after.
No, what you're going to see is me, shoving you in and closing the door.
Yeah,
but now you got to remember the door won't stay shut. So you're good. You won't be in there too long.
No one will look. It's going to close.
That could be true, but it's just kind of creepy to think about. It just won't stay closed, But, alright, so another interesting urban legend in South Carolina that I hadn't heard about, and it's odd that I hadn't heard about it because it's not very far from here, was the Third Eye Man. That's crazy, I had never even heard of him, but the Third Eye Man was first spotted on the campus of the University of South Carolina, which is located in Columbia, South Carolina. On November the 12th, 1949, he was spotted by two students. They said he was dressed in bright silver and was opening a manhole cover. He climbed down in that hole, and then he closed the manhole cover, back closed. So, 6 months after that sighting, a police officer that was making his rounds on the campus came across some mutilated chickens. He believed it was a prank by some students and walked to his car to report the incident. When he returned to the scene, he observed a man dressed in all silver huddling over the chicken parts. The man looked up when the police officer turned his flashlight on him. The officer says that the man had a grotesque face, and right in the middle of his forehead was a third eye. Now, the officer called for backup, but when backup arrived, all that was to be found was a few chicken feathers and some bones. Many of the legends that have been passed around about the Third Eye Man claim that he lives in the steam tunnels under the university. Since then, they haven't seen the Third Eye Man, and the university denies his existence. But Alex, you know what I was thinking was, because it was mutilated chickens, I think that as far as the mutilated chickens go, that maybe it was a prank by some Clemson fans because of the rivalry between them and USC, and the mascot for USC is a gamecock, which is basically a chicken. So that's just my theory, but who knows? Somebody saw something, and somebody was wearing silver, and the all silver just makes me laugh anyway, because it makes me think of back in the probably late 80s and 90s, people wore those silver suits when they exercised to help them sweat more. So that's immediately what I think of when I read that he was in all silver. But anyway, alright, moving on. So finally, we can't talk about cryptids and urban legends without mentioning Bigfoot. Over the years, there have been several sightings of him in South Carolina, and I can even remember when I was a little girl, someone said that they saw him in the woods near the Oconee River in the area that I live in. And Alex, you know, the Oconee River is that river that's just right down there by the Piggly Wiggly where we go grocery shopping.
Yes, this man wanted to go get some breakfast. He wanted some bacon. He wanted some sausage. He wanted the whole shebang. He wanted everything.
I'm sure. He was looking for breakfast and somebody disturbed him. Well, in 2013, a cryptid enthusiast says she had an encounter with a Bigfoot in the middle of the Oconee, in the middle of the woods in Oconee County. Now, she was with her family investigating other sightings of him when a large hairy creature appeared from behind some brush. They stared at each other for a few seconds. Then the creature turned and he just walked away. Well, she described him as being 7 foot tall and covered in red fur. Now, it's not a far stretch to believe that it's possible to find a Bigfoot in South Carolina. There's over 13 million acres of forest here, and that gives that creature the perfect habitat to call home. According to Bigfoot Field Research Organization, there have been 50 sightings across the state since 1964. In fact, there have been 11 documented sightings of him in the upstate. Now, I personally haven't seen one, but at this point in my life, it wouldn't surprise me at all if I did. But, now, at one time, I did record a young juvenile Bigfoot in our backyard. Alex, do you remember?
Yes.
That time that we were just goofing off in the backyard and I recorded you walking across the backyard, like how that iconic video of Bigfoot.
Yes, I remember this. I was a wee young lad, and one day we were in the backyard. I had a jacket on because it was really cold, and then I see my mom recording me. I was like, and I started walking like Bigfoot. This is where we're at now.
I think I still have that video somewhere on my Facebook page. I'll have to see if I can dig that out and embarrass you with it.
Oh no.
Well, I can't talk about Bigfoot in South Carolina without mentioning the life-size cutout of Bigfoot that someone placed along the James Island connector between downtown Charleston and Folly Beach last summer. Now, no one has claimed they've not claimed responsibility for it, but it just goes to show that there's some artistic person out there with a good sense of humor. Now, whether you believe in any of these tales I told you today or not, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. That's all I have for today. Now, if you have any questions or episode ideas, comments, anything, just send me an email at mysterymurdermagic@gmail.com. And you can check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/3mpodcast.